What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? Who is fired up and ready for Super League Gaming? I'm excited to get into that interview. We'll be getting into that interview in just a few short minutes, probably around 4:40, 4:45. We're going to dive into first the market sentiment. What happened today? Was it just a drop? Was it a pullback? Is this a moment of worry? We'll talk all about that. And of course, what sectors and industries were hot and what stocks you might be missing. Stay tuned right here on Money Mitch.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
What's going on, you slugs out there? I see you guys in the chat. It's good to have you guys here. Definitely enjoy all the Super League gaming fans. I enjoy them on Twitter. They always tag me, and I'm super excited to get into another interview with Ann Hand. But until then, let's first start talking about the market. Let's take a look here at the overall market. The SPY actually coming back here closer towards the close. You could see the pullback. It really wasn't that significant today. There is some stocks that were getting hit harder, but if we look towards the close, they kind of recovered. So keep your eyes on these. If these get ripping tomorrow, I mean, we're going to definitely be looking a lot better in a lot of the market. I mean, there's some good areas. Tesla also looking great here up there towards 922. We've watched this thing come all the way from the 800s up there towards the 900. That has been an awesome gain there. If you were able to take that on Tesla, power to you. Let's take a look here at the Qs. The Qs fighting to get above the 350 area. That's the level that I'll be watching tomorrow. Do we get up there towards the 355 and break on out? Or do we keep fighting these zones? We got to be careful. But one thing that I did see today, of course, basic materials strong, taking off here, guys. If you take a look at the last couple of days, look how we've taken off from this pattern here. If you look sideways, we were sideways for a pretty long while. We were pretty much sideways here for about 10.5 months. Now we're really pushing on the sector. And why is that? Because we're getting a lot of these breakouts in the industries. Look at aluminum breaking on out. Look at agricultural inputs. We've been talking about these significantly. And what is leading these? Look at some of these IPI taking off today. RKDA, seed starting to push up there. UAN, look at this one. This one's gone from 110 towards 135, about a 25% move in the last 3 days. So definitely pay attention to these agricultural inputs. One of the leaders has been, you can take a look at COF and then also MOS. These have really taken off and have not really looked back. I mean, look at this CF today, pushing on up there back through that 100. This has been a stock that we've been watching since what? March 18th, guys. We've been watching it since here. We created this line. We talked about how it could start pushing on up. That was on Friday. Now it just got through that line. And what happens today? It pulls back right to it. Low of 95.25, getting back up there towards the 101s. We'll keep these on watch. And for that being said, also watch this one, SVFD. I did see some mentions, some catalysts, so it could start popping tomorrow. But for right now, I'll keep it off. BTU, big stock of the day. Nice move it put in right out the gates. I love watching this stock on the hourly. If you watch it on the hourly, it's going to look cleaner. Now you see that pullback that it needs to hold and break out of tomorrow. We'll see if it pulls back towards 23 and then gets you that breakout through the 24, 25 level. Another stock to watch in that same area, METC, coal, looking good. It's looking like it wants to get back above the 18s. If we look here and we look sideways, we tried to get back above here multiple times. We failed up there in the 20s. Let's see if we can get back above 18s tomorrow and get up there towards the 19. Let's keep talking about some other stock areas. This is an area that I want to start pointing out. Industrials, metals, and minerals really starting to take off. A lot of people were looking at that UEC. That's a uranium stock. But there's some other ones like PLG. I've talked about this one. This one's starting to get moving, and I did like how it popped on volume. We'll look for it to get strong through 250 tomorrow. But if you don't want to trade these, take a look at some other ones like the lithium plays. LAC looking great here today. Nice little push on up. I'm going to be watching this one to continue. Lithium play, and you guys can watch some other ones. PLL. Look how that one's been taking off. MP. Look how that one's also taking off. This is why I watch the rotation and I watch these industry moves, guys, because once you're able to catch these moves, this is why you want to go ahead and trade with the herd. If you're seeing all the stocks moving in lithium, take a look at them. Maybe there might be a laggard that will catch up tomorrow. I'm going to keep watch. Some other tickers you guys can take a look here. I'll give you guys some other names here. If you like the ETFs, LIT is one I would keep watch above 75 tomorrow. Another stock, LTHM. You guys can watch this one. It's holding around the 23s, looking like it really wants to hold that pullback to there, make a run towards 26. Another one that you could take a look at is SQM. This one's already been making moves, but definitely making a strong push on up. And this is in chemicals, but does do a lot of lithium in it. And so chemicals and metals and minerals doing well right now. Keep your eyes on these. Of course, copper doing well. Also, steel X going to give it to you. It's going to give it to you. Cliff's doing well. New doing well. Another one that I called out today that most people have been missing is Steel Dynamics. STLD. Look at this move the last couple of days. It's been a 20% move. We'll see if these can continue. I feel like they're starting to get extended a little bit, the steel trade. But like always, smash that like, guys. I see you guys on out there. Want to give some shout outs to some loyal followers. I always see you out there. I know you're a Slug fan. We got Chris in the house. We got the Blind Trader, Born, Eagle. It's good to see you guys out there. Let's keep going. All right, Mitch, I think oil is very overbought. What do you think? All right, well, let's take a look at some of these names, really. I mean, we could take a look at like Chevron. We could take a look at MRO. MRO, I feel like it still has a good amount to run there. But really, I mean, let's take a look at USO, right? Let's take a look at the U.S. oil fund here and see how we're looking right now. You could see how we pulled back from that move. We actually pulled back about 20%. Some people call that a bear market. Look how we came all the way back from there. We've done about, I would say about a 10% retracement from there, about 16% actually on up there from those levels. So we're making our way back. We're only down about 9% there from that major high. If we could draw the retracement from the move there, you can see how we retraced and now we've recovered that 61.8. And now we're back above that 50%. I'd be watching for this to kind of hold the 50s. It could pull back, let's say on USO towards 78, but we should see that continuously start pushing towards the high. The real question is, do we get kind of a supply issue to come into play in April? Really, that's where I'm really watching to see the Russian war really start showing its face in the oil game. That's what we're all trying to take a look. The real question is also, is this kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing? Does it happen that when we finally get the release in April that we start seeing that, hey, there's already been too far of a run into these stocks and they retrace? We'll see what happens there. Same thing I'm kind of looking at in gold. I'm starting to see gold start going a little bit sideways, thinking that we could start seeing a little bit of a retrace. But like always, it's going to be all based on what happens with the inflationary environment. Can we hold in this inflationary environment, or are we going to start turning around? I think you got to keep on watch. The basic materials has definitely been the area to play. But if it does turn around, of course, you guys got to watch. Where does stocks go? I always talk about rotations, right? So I've been talking about industrials since March. And since March began, I've been looking at the industrials to start getting stronger going into kind of the next months ahead. And if you take a look at this candle that we got last week, it really is starting to look strong. Names like DE, all-time highs here, pushing towards 430s. We talked about that level through the 400. Stocks like Caterpillar. These stocks are really, really hot lately, and you got to know. I mean, when you right now see mentions of infrastructure by Biden, what do you see? You see a lot of these stocks just start pushing. That's why I'm watching these going into kind of Q3, Q4. I really do think that you're going to see some rotation come into these industrial plays, as of course you'll see more and more talks of the infrastructure bill coming into play. And I think that you got to keep these on watch. Cat's already made a big run, so just be careful. This one could pull back this week, but it's been a strong move in Caterpillar and DE. And for that being mentioned, you could take a look at some of the slower names like the railroads. Look how these have been moving recently. This GBX has done like a 40% move. But if you take a look at some of the slower movers like CNI, that's just been curling on its way up. CP, doing the same thing, pushing on up. And I think this is railroad trades that what you're seeing is rotation going into these names. That's why I'll keep on watch on the industrials. All right, like always, one thing we like to do is stick to what stocks are hot, what stocks are not, and kind of getting the story. Coming up next, we're going to be getting into Super League gaming, and it's all about the story, right? You guys know how I always try to stay with the stories. We're going to start talking into kind of esports, metaverse, and really how we can really develop in here. One area that I've been watching develop is also programmatic advertising, right? And I feel like this company combines all of those things into one. We'll get into Super League gaming just coming up in about a minute or two, but I do want to take a second here, just kind of overall talk. What are you guys thinking out there? Have you guys gotten any VR goggles lately? I would love to hear if anybody in the chat has gotten any VR goggles lately, has opened up any metaverse. I actually opened up my first Roblox today. I've done different metaverse experiences now. A lot of it for me is kind of understanding and kind of getting to the story, which we're going to get to next. But that's what it's about. For me, I'm just digging in. I'm waiting for the new Facebook goggles. I was going to get an Oculus 2, but I was like, I can wait till summer to get a new goggles. But I'm super excited to see how VR and AR really develops. And then also how we're really getting deeper and deeper into esports. One of the things is I think the pandemic held us back a little bit there for a little while in esports because, we couldn't meet up in person. We couldn't have these events that we all love seeing on TV, all these competitions. There's one thing being remote. There's another thing holding those events in person. And I think that, we're getting out of that time. And with that being said, I think you're going to continue to see the growth in esports. And I think you're going to continue starting to see even different aspects of esports, whether it can be like betting on certain players or whatever. I keep watching it, and I'm kind of amazed at where we're going to. So, hey, you guys let me know if you guys have gotten. There you go. I see some Oculus. Someone's playing Sandbox. Okay. Can't blame you on the Sandbox life. I've been having fun with that a little bit. I'll kind of bring up a question about that maybe a little bit later. Let's go ahead. Let's dive right into our interview time. I hope that you guys are excited. Do me the favor. Let's start up before we get into the interview. All you SLG and Super League fans out there, can you do me the favor? Hit the thumbs on up. Let's get it started. And when we come back, we'll get hand right here. Hit that like. Let's go.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
So I love about you guys, you just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.
All right. I'm super excited to have you back on. You guys know her. I don't think I got to introduce, but hey, here you guys have it. The chairman and CEO of Super League Gaming. How we doing, Ann?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me back.
I'm super excited to have you back on. I still am digging that couch. I still need to get in myself. But let's go ahead. Let's dive right in. The company recently just put out fourth quarter. Tell us also about the full year 2021 results. How did that go for the Super League Gaming?
Yeah, no, we were super pumped to have that earnings call. I always enjoy the earnings calls. I like writing the script. I feel like it's healthy every 90 days to kind of regroup. It gives you like more urgency, and we like to be held accountable. And so we delivered 6.2 million in revenue in Q4. Just to put that a little bit, in perspective, in 2020, we did 2 million total for the full year. For 21, we did a little over 11.5 million for the full year. And for the first time, we decided to give some guidance. We decided to give the investors what they've been wanting, which is they've been saying they want top line growth and they want it faster. And so we told them that we expected to hit at least 20 to 22 million this year in revenue. So we like those step changes. And those are also what they're also going to see this year is that we're going to start taking a bite out of losses. So that idea of cash flow positive and break even is no longer kind of ambiguous and abstract. It's something we can see.
Definitely. No, one thing that we always want to see is kind of how the growth comes, and of course, meeting the expectations. That's what we're all looking for, and getting an update. That's we all love the update. That's why we have you back on here. One of the things is investors and fans alike, we're all reaching out to me saying we need to have Anham back. So definitely excited to have you back on. We've had some updates throughout, so I'm just going to go through some of these here. In December, we got news of Live One and Super League forming a strategic partnership to create experiences in the metaverse tied to Live One's music, lifestyle, and pay-per-view events. How is this really going to work, and what developments can we look forward to in 2022?
Yeah, you're going to see more and more of this. And it really comes back to what really separates us out. So, you had talked a little bit about esports earlier when I was listening to your broadcast. And, it's funny, in our early days, we started with kids and esports, right? We wanted to create kind of that youth esports offer. And what we found was that instead of trying to pull kids out of the metaverse, we needed to go where they were. So we went into the metaverse, into games like Minehut and Roblox. And again, these aren't abstract ideas here. The metaverse gaming world has been around for over a decade, and we've been in it for 8 years of those kind of 10, 11 years. And so we went to where, they were playing, and we've now gone from having, a year ago, we reached about 5 million players in the metaverse a month. We now reach over 70 million players in the metaverse a month. So that's just an unbelievable amount of growth and reach. And it's really only second probably to the reach that the game of Roblox and Minecraft reach on their own. You're going to be hard pressed to find a company that can reach that many players in a metaverse gaming environment. And it matters because now what we can do is we can work with companies like Live One, but you're going to see a lot of announcements like this. The things we were doing with Nickelodeon last year, other big household name brands are reaching out to us and saying, I need to get in the metaverse. I have to first understand how to get in, but I don't just need your expertise because you've done it for yourself and all the owned and operated properties you've created for the Super League brand. But what we can also do is guarantee them traffic. We can move players to them in the metaverse. And so what we can do is guarantee their success in the metaverse. And so whether it's Live One and taking and creating metaverse-based concerts to kind of tie to their physical concert program, so they have a digital and physical presence, or it's introducing brands like Nike and Mattel and other people who are working with us in the metaverse. This is a thing that we can credibly do for ourselves, and we can port other brands into. And you're going to see it just like the Live One announcement. You're going to see it get wider. We've already, as you guys know, have done concerts and have brought music acts into the metaverse. We've already shown that we can drive commerce in the metaverse. So it's going to be broad reaching.
Yeah, I remember you had the Moon Jam event last year, right? And that was a digital concert itself. I am super excited about the digital concert and kind of that aspect to the metaverse, because it's not only games, it's also music. And I think that it's a complete different aspect to try to get to concerts. Sometimes I love a lot of reggae music, and a lot of reggae music concerts are held, outside of kind of in California and Hawaii, and you can't always get there, right? And then the truth is, if you want to be in it, there's another way now. And I think that's an awesome way to get to the music. Let's get into another partnership that we recently just got. Last week, we got Avanti entering an exclusive partnership. This is for in-play advertising in Roblox. How will this affect the bottom line, and will this support BloxBiz?
Yeah, so, and this is something I spoke about on the earnings call. This is really the heart of the business model. Is we have a very innovative suite of ad products and analytics behind it. And we can allow brands to get into the metaverse in a wide range of ways. So with Live One and some of the things we've done for Nickelodeon and others, we've created immersive gameplay experiences. So players are coming into these worlds and they're playing or listening to music or chatting or what have you. But we also have a suite of ad products that are things like digital billboards in a game, Imagine, your digital player, your avatar is walking by a billboard and sees a funny kind of meme related to SpongeBob and something that entertains you. It could be that you're walking across the gameplay and you bump into a minion and start a conversation with them. So these are very progressive ad units that are really turnkey inventory that we can provide to advertisers. And it's a really clever way they can dip their toe into the metaverse without maybe creating a very customized game world. And so we're pretty excited about now why Adverty, and then the press release we did a few weeks prior to it that announced a whole set of other reseller partners, companies like Venatus and Apex and others. Why this matters now, it's critical, because if you look at the way exponentially our reach in the metaverse is so much greater now, well, that means our ad inventory has blown up on us. Again, we have 10x the ad inventory that we had a year earlier. And so we can't possibly sell it fast enough, right? And that's the game we're in right now, is we've got to get these innovative products and metaverse worlds into the hands of as many advertisers as possible. Our wonderful, very successful direct sales team that did the bulk of that 6 million delivery in Q4 is still a domestic-based group. And yet our inventory is international. And so all of these partnerships are bringing in world-class sales forces in these geographies that are already out there doing advertiser deals with big brands, and we're letting them sell additional inventory on our behalf. So it's brilliant, really, because it means that we get to leverage now thousands of salespeople around the world to sell this inventory faster. And what I mentioned on the earnings call is critical, is that right now, if our inventory just froze and stayed static, what we have today, if we didn't sign on any more Roblox game developers, we didn't grow our own owned and operated game worlds and content networks around it, and we sold most of it out at a pretty decent CPM, we're talking about this would be a $200 million revenue year. So that's the kind of wonderful challenge in front of us, is we can't sell this fast enough. And the thing is, it's not going to stay static. It's going to keep growing. And the reason, too, that I love this strategy, this reseller network strategy, is we've set floor CPMs on this. We've got good margins on it. Like we aren't going to cannibalize our domestic direct sales force. We're going to augment them with by unleashing this really powerful network of partners who can sell our inventory for us. And we're not done announcing big names who are going to do that. And you'll start to see names that you'll recognize as well. And when you do the math and think about how many people that is out there now showing off Super League and Bloxbiz's incredible inventory in the metaverse, it'll be powerful.
Yeah, definitely. It's something even I've thought about. Metaverse and advertising is just getting started. Digital advertising has already been pushed to the pedal and to the floor with the pandemic, and I think this is just increasing. If we look at what advertisement was even 2 years ago to where it is now, it's just so personalized also.
Right.
And I think this is...
I want to mention something about that. I think it's really important. The internet kind of failed the consumer in a way. Think about the animosity it created, as all the interruption of pop-up ads and windows, and it kind of took something away from the experience. The metaverse actually is going to give, especially with the types of ad units we have, a chance for advertisers to have a real conversation with gamers and to have more of like a two-way street. And the thing is, too, is that there's more isolated targeting and measurement. That's the power of these analytics behind our ad inventory. So it's going to be also much higher performing, I believe, for advertisers, and give them a lot richer insights. And so it really is. It's kind of like if you were a CMO 20 years ago or 10 years ago and you didn't have a social media strategy, you were kind of in the dark ages. I really think, that today it's a strategic imperative that physical brands think about how to attract new users in digital worlds and to create that crossover demand for their physical products. And Super League is really very differentiated is one of the few ways you can get there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one thing that I wanted to get into is some questions from the audience. We started asking some questions. One of the questions that we got was, what's Mob Crush's place in the future of Super League Gaming? Now that, we've seen it be a part of Super League Gaming for almost a year, how are we seeing Mob Crush move forward?
Yeah, if you think about it, when you look at now the size of deals that we're taking in front of brands and advertisers, they're getting a lot bigger, right? I talked on the call about the fact that now it's typical for our deal packages to be six figures, 100, 200, 300K. We even have 6 deals right now we're pursuing in the pipeline. They're 7-figure deals. Now they're not $9 million deals. They're like $1 to $2 million deals. But the point is, we're able to really prove what we always said was, once we get scale, we can take a much larger share of advertisers' wallet. Now, how is that happening? Well, it's happening by the power of the assets we've amassed. Because when we're putting together a package for Nestle or for Mattel or Nike or whomever, we're going in and we're packaging metaverse experiences. It's bundled with influencers, so social media influencers, and those are the types of people who use the Mob Crush technology. It also usually has some kind of content production arm to it. So whether that brand like Twitch, who partners with us a lot inside Minehut, they pay us not just to create cool Minecraft competitive gaming esports experiences, but they want also the live stream broadcast feed. So some people want the broadcast out of gameplay. Others at a minimum want some clipped content that they can post on their own social channels. And so these are all now package deals. And what we got with Mob Crush is we got reach of a ton of gaming-centric social media influencers, people live streaming and trying to build their audiences. But we also got that powerful sales force that had been selling real specific gaming packages to advertisers. And now we can bundle metaverse content, a traditional media buy, and augmented with the influencer kind of bullhorn as well. And so it's a critical piece of that.
Awesome. One of the things, we're running out of time. There's so much to talk about with Super League Gaming. You guys, I would definitely tell you guys to check out the Apex League Finals. It's going to be March 31st, starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. I've been watching some of that action. It's been super fun to watch that. And then, of course, there's so much more. I saw the Wilding Out, the Metaverse remix with Nick Cannon. If you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out after. I think you guys will enjoy seeing that. But let's get into a different aspect of the business that I think is a concern for many investors out there. Can we expect to see some equity raising this year?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest question, right? Mm-hmm. And what I've said is, look, the good news is we ended the year with 15 million on the balance sheet. We aren't backed into a corner. Nobody wants to be out raising money right now, right? And we certainly don't want to do something that's extremely dilutive. We did put, some real, cash and equity to work with our acquisitions last year, and it was the right strategy to do that. And so I think what investors, could see is us bringing in some money maybe later in the year or maybe early next year that maybe is more targeted towards growth. But I'm just really determined. I'm determined to control costs and look for some cost savings and see how far I can push off that event or ensure that the growth story of what we're getting for that dilution is worth it. But again, not backed into a corner, no need to raise money right now. And also we remain a nice, clean balance sheet, no debt. And I got to tell you, right when, the market started to tighten up and with Ukraine and all of that, we had the cast of characters came out, right? And all kinds of people trying to give us kind of, convertible note deals and loaded with warrants and all this stuff we've managed to never do. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we can always say, no, that is not a good deal for the investor. It's not a good deal for Super League, and kind of walk away. And so we're going to continue to kind of do everything we can to meet that commitment that a lot of microcaps don't have. A lot of microcaps have messy balance sheets, and we don't want to go there.
Completely agree. I mean, I respect that. And one of the things is, like always, is it makes sense for the business. I think that's the most important part. Let's keep going. Let's go into the last question I have here. I did see something about Venture Valley community nights. I as an entrepreneur and like seeing things like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Venture Valley is a game that we started partnering with, a year and a half ago. It had a little bit of, a delayed launch as games inevitably do, but it's a great game. It kind of speaks so much to the mission of the company, because we really are about empowering creators, right? And so they're the most important piece of our universe, and so. When Bloxbiz game designers, sign on to Bloxbiz, we give them a new revenue stream, a new way to turn that passion into livelihood. And Venture Valley is a great game that's all about trying to learn about, and create your own kind of businesses and to create them successfully in a digital kind of metaverse type world. And maybe it spawns the physical manifestation of a career track or a business concept that you want to launch. And so, yeah, again, Super League's also always been about, yes, people come for the competition, but they stay for the fun and the friendships and the entertainment of it all. And so community nights around Venture Valley are right up our alley to just really be a mechanism for like-minded people to hang together. It's kind of no different than maybe what WeWork was promising to be, right? But we're just doing it digitally. We're creating connections where fellow entrepreneurs can learn from each other.
Definitely always helping the content creator. Now, one of the things that we love to do here at Benzinga is definitely give our audience a chance to ask a question. And I actually found a young investor that has a question for you. And I wanted to bring him on. Really impressed me. He's from Canada. He's young and really interested in Super League gaming. So let's bring him on really quickly to ask one question here. Daniel, welcome to it.
Hi, my name's Daniel, and my question is, what's your plan on making Super League Gaming a household name?
It's a great question, right? Because we started out as more of a consumer-facing brand, but then, a lot of our offer is B2B, and we've had these acquisitions, right? So now I used to run brands globally for BP. And so I had a similar thing where you've got all these different brands, and some things are B2B and some things are B2C. And so we're doing some work right now on really thinking how we simplify that brand architecture. And then how do we really lean into Super League? So you'll even see things like on the earnings call. I didn't say, well, Mob Crush did that. And we're really trying to look at what is this integrated offer that flows all the way down to this end user that is the consumer. But here's the catch. Today, if you're playing Minecraft on Minehut, the Minehut brand. We don't want, and you believe you are a part of that Minehut community.
Yeah.
So we don't want to try to remove that from you and brand it Super League. But we are going to be thoughtful and get our brand out there a lot more, just better awareness, whether it's the advertiser, it's the creator, it's the consumer, or it's the investor, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Daniel. I hope you got happy that you got your chance to ask and directly the question.
Daniel,
Thank you.
Anytime.
You see that?
I mean it.
There you
Thank
go,
you.
Daniel. Definitely reach on out. We'll definitely. I'll get you the reach on out so you can go ahead and reach on directly.
Great.
Thank you, Daniel. All right, and I appreciate you coming on. Like always, we'll definitely have you back on here on Benzinga and on Money Mitch, of course. Thank you, like always, taking the questions, not only from myself, but as you can see from the investors and fans out there of Super League Gaming. We'll definitely keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Like always, another exclusive interview right here on Money Mitch. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and also bringing on a young investor. I love to see that. I mean, I wish that when I was at that age, I was looking into companies, learning about this. It took me a little bit longer to get into really deep into the finance game. So power to you, Daniel, and we'll look forward to seeing what happens with Super League Gaming. So thank you, Ann Hand, once again for joining us. Like always, guys, smash the thumbs on up. That's going to do it for us right here on Money Mitch. I'll see you guys next time. Tomorrow, I have another interview for you guys, another surprise desktop medals. So if you guys want to learn a little bit about 3D printing, come on over tomorrow. I'm sure you'll learn something. See you next time, guys, and hit the like before you get on out of here.
Check.